Hey YouTube, I'm back again with my wax empties for the months of January and February. Since I am no longer living in the US, I'm going to divide this up based off of the brand and where I bought it. So I'm going to start with my items that I purchased in the US, just in case if you're not interested in like other stuff, you can click out when I'm done with that. So I will go ahead and get started. So the very first thing I finished up is from Better Homes and Gardens. I purchased this and the rest of my sensationals in Better Homes and Gardens while I was in the States last in October for a wedding. This is the Tropical Pina Colada, and I felt like it was just okay. I know this is gonna sound stupid and like, duh, but to me it just kind of smelled like wax. So like a sweet wax, like a pineapple colada type wax, but I don't know, it just smelled kind of cheap to me, and I wish it would have been sweeter or maybe richer, but yeah, like, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad that I tried it, but I would not repurchase this again, even though the picture is very beautiful. The next thing that I finished is actually one of my loves. This is from Sensationals, and this is the Pumpkin Apple Muffins, and it says limited edition, but I actually have purchases the last 2 years in a row. I actually got pretty lucky with this because, to my horror, even though I was in the States in the middle of October, it seemed like all their fall stuff was gone, even though we were in the thick of fall by that point. So I've actually heard a lot of people say online that they don't really like this, which absolutely hurts my heart, because if you know my channel, you know that I don't like spicy bakery during the fall or ever. However, something about this, maybe because it smells like a little bit earthy to me, which seems very odd for something that should smell like pumpkin apple muffins, but I think that's why I like this. So it definitely still has the pumpkin spice thing. But yeah, I think it smells a little bit earthy, and that's why I loved it, and I would totally purchase this again. However, the boyfriend was not a fan, I'll say that. The next thing I purchased was something that he really loved and said he wants me to buy more of next time we're in the States, is the Sugared Melon Kiwi from Better Homes and Gardens. I always think of my first year of teaching when I think of this, because I had this in a value pack my first year of teaching in my wax former in my classroom and melted it quite a bit. So it just smells like candy. It's very kid-friendly, smells like kind of watermelon kiwi gum, and I would totally repurchase it. Plus it was a really fun lime green color of wax. The next thing I used up is a second of 2 value packs in Wild Berry Cheesecake. This is a staple for me. I love it because you definitely get the berries and kind of a warmed cheesecake crust note to it. My boyfriend really loves it too, and we've gone through 2 value packs of this, so next time I'm in the States, I'll probably buy a number of value packs of these, just because, you know, I have to plan for the fact that I may not be back soon. So in the meantime, I just go through security at airports looking like a weirdo with a bunch of like random stuff in my bag. So that was it for wax melts from the States. The only candle I finished up from Bath & Body Works from the States is this Hooray candle. I don't like the typography thing. I felt like it was fine for a while, but then it just got kind of lazy, and I feel like that now. So the fragrance notes here are bubbly champagne, pink lady apples, and juicy honeydew, and this is a repackage of the... Oh, come on. I should know this because it's my favorite candle they've done. It's what? Pink apple punch. That's it. A repackage of pink apple punch. So yeah, while I don't hate this particular package because I like that kind of hologram type writing on this, like I said, I feel like in the beginning it was fine when they first started doing this as almost like a greeting card type candle, but I feel like now they've just expanded to a point, especially with like Girl Gang and Nailed It and whatever, that it's just like, I don't know, it's just weird. Lazy, I don't like it. Okay, so the next things that I purchased are things I purchased from Australia. However, I'll start with some brands that may, I mean, one brand definitely is available in the States, but the other maybe. So I purchased a DW Homes candle from TK Maxx here in Melbourne. This is apricot and cream. This was in the beginning. I mean, it looks kind of like murky now, but in the beginning it was a really nice orange color of wax. I know that a lot of people really love DW Home. I feel like it's just okay. I feel like I want to love DW Home, but it doesn't throw enough for me. So while I'll have it for a little bit and appreciate it a little bit, I'm not one of those people who just loves it. But yeah, this was nice, especially if you're a DW Home fan. Maybe be on the lookout for jars and fragrances like this apricot and cream. The next thing I purchased was from, I guess, a brand called Sand and Fog, and it says in their logo that it's inspired by the California coast. This was a candle in teak wood, so it kind of smelled like mahogany teak wood from Bath & Body Works. I don't know for a fact that this brand is available in the States, however, because it says it was inspired by the California coast, maybe it is. So I would recommend the brand. I think its fragrances are unique, so perhaps next time that you're in TJ Maxx or Marshalls or HomeGoods or whatever, maybe seek out Sand and Fog and see if it's available near you. Okay, so the next things are things I again purchased from Australia. I have a couple wax melts from Kmart here. Kmart is like the Target of Australia in the sense that it's kind of trendy and fashionable to go there and like browse, and they actually have cute stuff, which I've said before, I've been to Kmart more in the last 9 months than I have in my entire life. It's crazy. But yeah, I purchased some wax melts from them in January. So the first one that I purchased is these this crisp apple and juicy pear. This was kind of like a light pink, I guess, wax. And the cubes look large, but they're not very tall, if you see that. So I actually put 2 at the same time in my warmer to get some throw. I really had high hopes for this one because I felt like it smelled really good. It kind of smelled like shampoo. However, I found that this only threw for maybe 2 or 3 hours and then it completely died. So while this wax melt package, I guess, was cheap in and of itself, I just feel like I buy wax to appreciate it for more than 2 hours. So unfortunately, while I like the fragrance on cold, I would not repurchase this. Now, I guess in maybe some vein, I shouldn't be surprised that something so cheap would not really last. However, last spring for us, so last fall for you guys, I purchased some wax from Kmart in the same exact kind of Kmart store brand that was like salted caramel, and it actually smelled really good and lasted for a long time. So that's why I was hoping that the same thing would happen here, but it just didn't. The next one I finished was this vanilla and Tibetan sandalwood. Same thing, loved it on cold, but it only lasted a few hours. Not good enough for me, so while I did like it, I'm not going to repurchase it. The same thing here, fresh pick and... I cannot talk. Fresh fig and papaya. One would think that I would be literate as an English teacher, but apparently not. Alright, so fresh fig and papaya. I actually didn't like this much while it was warming, so it's a good thing it only lasted a few hours because by the end of it, I was just sick of it. Again, unfortunately, would not repurchase this. So it was kind of like a fail on my part with these Kmart waxes. And finally, this one was their old packaging. It says Fresh Blossom. Same thing, it smelled good on cold. It was kind of light, but yeah, it died after an hour, so totally not worth it. Even though it was only $2 Australian for one pack of these, you know, if it doesn't last and it barely throws, then what's the point? Okay, and the last things are wax melts that I actually purchased at a local market called the Queen Victoria Market. It's my favorite market that I go to here. And yeah, it's just from a local vendor. I got this clamshell in mango cilantro. I found that this was a really interesting blend and I would love to have this again. So it wasn't my favorite fragrance I've ever had, but it was such an interesting blend of sweet and like kind of earthy and a little bit spicy. So yeah, would repurchase even though it's not the most amazing thing I've ever had. Next thing that I purchased from them was pink champagne and exotic fruits. This one was okay. It was just really cloying and fruity and like a little bit juvenile by the end. So while I appreciated it and used the whole thing up, I probably wouldn't repurchase pink champagne. And the very last thing that I purchased from the local vendor was black raspberry and vanilla. I really enjoyed this on cold, and I enjoyed black raspberry and vanilla body care from Bath & Body Works. However, I found that while I like this fragrance on my body, I don't really care for it in my whole apartment. So it wasn't completely horrifying, but same thing with the pink champagne. I just wouldn't repurchase it. So I would repurchase from that vendor. I liked the quality of the wax and how long it lasted, but I think that I will choose their other fragrances next time. So that's it. Lots and lots of melts and a couple of candles this week, or this month, I guess. But yeah, I think that's kind of it from me for Empties for the month of February. With that, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at YellowBrickExpat, same way it's spelled here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.